coverage you can count on.
The owner of this corner store in Donora found dead inside, and police are now trying to piece together what led up to the shooting. We broke the story on our WPXI News app last night, and since then we've learned more about the victim. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gordon Lash.
And I'm Jennifer Tomazik. So those shots were fired at his store on Allen Avenue, and Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond has more from state police, who are really hoping that a witness comes forward.
A 28-year-old man was shot and killed inside of this convenience store. Everyone I've had the chance to speak with off camera has had amazing things to say about him, calling him an amazing man who didn't deserve this. His name is Nick Tarpley. He was one of the owners of Anna Lee's, which is named after his grandmother. Several family members showed up. One of his cousins couldn't stop crying and kept going over to touch his car. The shooting happened shortly after 5 on Wednesday. Investigators say Nick was shot multiple times. Police are still looking for who killed him.
This is a close-knit neighborhood. You have a convenience store on a corner here with a lot of residential. Hopefully somebody heard or saw something that can help us out.
We're currently in contact with state police, and if they release any new information, we'll be sure to share that with you today at 5. Reporting in Donora, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
Alyssa, thanks so much. Breaking here just within the last few minutes, a federal grand jury has indicted the former administrator of a Mount Lebanon nursing home. According to investigators, Susan Gilbert directed workers to falsify timesheets and other documents to make it appear that the facility met federal and state staffing requirements. Mount Lebanon Rehab and Wellness Center is owned by the same company as Brighton Rehab, which you'll remember was the site of one of the worst nursing home outbreaks in the state at the height of the pandemic. It's not clear if Gilbert had administrative powers at other facilities besides Mount Lebanon. Something else to point out here, Pennsylvania Attorney General Josh Shapiro called this the first indictment from the investigation into Brighton Rehab. 11 investigates. Andy Moreski was one of the first reporters in the state to shine a spotlight on problems at nursing homes in the pandemic, and she is working to find out more about this particular indictment for Channel 11 News at 5.
Happening now at the U.S. Capitol, the Senate confirmation hearing for Dr. Rachel Levine. President Joe Biden nominated the former Pennsylvania Health Secretary to serve as Assistant U.S. Health Secretary. She would make history as the first out transgender federal official to be confirmed by the Senate.
PNC Park has been turned into a giant COVID vaccination clinic. That's what you're looking at on your screen right now. More than 6,000 people will get their first shots inside the ballpark. Channel 11's Mike Holden got in there too to see how they're doing it.
PNC Park has officially transformed into a COVID-19 vaccination clinic. As you know, at this point, demand has skyrocketed, and many folks came out here patiently waiting for their shot, and they say it's been well worth it. More than 6,000. That's how many COVID-19 shots will be administered between today and tomorrow at AHN and Highmark's makeshift vaccination clinic. The appointment-only first dose event was held at the Home Plate Club at PNC Park, and it certainly drew interest. The aim is to expand access to residents in the Phase 1A group. As the pandemic continues to drag out, AHN says they are focused on helping the most vulnerable populations and underserved communities. Folks we spoke with say getting the shot brings a tremendous sense of relief.
I am greatly excited about getting the shot. I am so happy that Highmark is sponsoring that. I'm a Highmark retiree, and it's good to see us doing a good thing for the community here.
And again, today and tomorrow's clinics are by appointment only and run until 4 p.m. In the meantime, there are still so many questions over that new UK COVID-19 variant. We're going directly to the health experts and asking them what you should look out for and how you can protect you and your loved ones for Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting inside PNC Park on the North Shore, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
An update now on new COVID cases from the Allegheny County Health Department. Health officials have learned of 224 new cases since yesterday. 2 additional deaths were also reported. And we learned yesterday there are now 3 confirmed cases of the UK variant in Allegheny County. We told you about the first one a couple of weeks ago. That UK variant is more infectious, and the health department says it's important to continue social distancing and wearing masks. The makers of 2 authorized coronavirus vaccines in the U.S. are now testing to see if a third shot would protect against the emerging variants. Pfizer and BioNTech say that they will study 144 people who received the vaccines, 2 doses in the trial. They would get the booster shot between 6 to 12 months after the earlier doses. Moderna has also announced that it has shipped to the NIH doses of the modified vaccine designed to better protect against variants.
Dozens of lawmakers are pushing for changes to how the state is rolling out the vaccine. State Representative Pam Snyder serves Westmoreland, Greene, and Fayette County. She's leading the charge, and she wants the state to add teachers, school staff, and corrections officers to Phase 1A. So Snyder said in a statement, prioritizing others over educators and corrections officers is baffling, especially when you consider the close congregate work they perform, and to have them currently placed in Phase 1B category is insulting. More than 300 lawmakers have signed this letter.
At 2:30 this afternoon, the White House will commemorate the 50th million COVID-19 vaccine administered nationwide since President Joe Biden took office.
And as our Jacqueline Fell shows us, this is seen as a positive step towards building momentum against the virus.
Big news this week in terms of getting Americans vaccinated. A third vaccine could soon be ready. Additional doses are being produced, and people are beginning to be able to head to their local pharmacies to get vaccinated.
What's working and what's not working.
Vice President Kamala Harris spent the morning at a giant pharmacy in Southeast D.C. to highlight the Biden administration's retail pharmacy vaccination program. The administration started shipping vaccines directly to pharmacies across the country earlier this month. Harris even watched as a woman got her second dose of the Moderna vaccine. The White House announced this week that states will get millions of additional doses next week after a boost in production from Pfizer and Moderna. The milestone celebration at the White House today comes as Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine inches towards approval. We are possibly just days away from the first single-dose vaccine becoming available. In Washington, Jacqueline Fell, Channel 11 News.
And you can join us on our WPXI Now app tomorrow night as we bring you the latest information on the race to vaccinate here in Western PA. We look at the week's developments with vaccine availability and talk with pharmacists frustrated over the supply issue. Our special report starts at 8 p.m.
All right, so after a brief taste of spring, a reminder today, Jessica, that it is still February. Here's meteorologist Jessica Faith.
Yeah, so temperatures right now this midday in the 30s. Yesterday was just a preview of what is to come in days ahead, but today reminds you it is still technically winter. 38 right now, a mix of sun and clouds outside, so overall pleasant because we're dry. Wind from the west northwest about 8 miles per hour, so could make it feel just a tad bit cooler outside. All across the board, we're looking at mostly upper 30s except for Beaver in Morgantown. You've hit the 40-degree mark this midday, looking pretty good. As we go throughout the rest of the day, looking at a good dose of sunshine, temperatures into the lower 40s for the peak of the daytime heating. Now, even though we're holding on to the sunshine today, rain is right around the corner. Coming up in about 15 minutes, I will go into details about when you can expect wet weather to come back into the area.
All right, thanks, Jessica. We are working to learn more about two fires. One of those happened somewhere a lot of people in Stowe, McKees Rocks, and Kennedy Township are probably familiar with. This is the main drag in Stowe, Broadway Avenue. That fire happened at an apartment above Mama Lena's Italian Deli. Someone was hurt there and rushed to the hospital. The Kennedy Township Volunteer Fire Department tells us it was a small kitchen fire. The second fire broke out at a family's house in Marshall Shadeland. You can see all the fire trucks there on this narrow street. They got this fire under control pretty fast, but we have not yet heard about anyone getting hurt.
I wish at that time we were a little bit smarter to say, hey, Beth, don't leave, walk with us, and stick together.
It is a day that has haunted this local woman for 43 years. She was probably the last person to see her friend alive. And for the first time, she is breaking her silence. Tisha Davidson was a childhood friend of Bethlyn Barr. The 6-year-old was abducted in 1977 in Wilkinsburg and later found dead.
We were joking, laughing, and everything, and talking about what we're going to do for Thanksgiving. And
the three of you are?
Yes, and the birthday party. So we actually...
You get to hear?
We get to hear. And she decided to say, oh, I'm going to go this way.
Oh, she really has vivid memories still of that day. That was the last time that she and her sister saw their friend. 16 months later, Barr's body was found in a shallow grave near a cemetery in Monroeville. Now, the case has had a profound impact on Davidson, including the way that she raised her kids and her grandkids.
I tell them that don't go near nobody's car. Don't look for nobody's dog if they're saying. They can't offer you no candy that I can't give you. Don't just go, you know. I mean, it just really changed a lot.
Well, this case still has not been solved. In November, Target 11 learned about an anonymous letter pointing to a potential suspect. No arrests have been made.
Police have now tracked down a juvenile suspected of making a prank 911 call that prompted schools in the greater Latrobe district to be locked down. Chapter 11 was over the scene yesterday afternoon as officers swarmed the property and searched cars. A few parents we spoke to say they can't understand why someone would do this.
It would make me mad because it's nothing to joke around with, especially when it comes to kids. You know, I don't know why anyone would do it.
Latrobe police say the juvenile who made the fake 911 call will also face an investigation by the school district.
To try and save my daughter's school, trying to stop kids from getting put into prison, like, this is enough.
This local mother is fed up with what she says are challenges at her daughter's elementary school. She goes to Woolslayer in Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Public School District is talking about closing that school next year. It's part of the plan to possibly close 7 schools and build 2 new ones. So last night, a group marched from Mayor Bill Peduto's office to the school district's headquarters. They were highlighting several issues impacting underserved communities. That includes the district's budget deficit and ending what they call the school to prison pipeline by having police in schools. They want the district to use public safety funding on counselors and mentors instead of police officers.
People are there to restore relationships and build relationships with students and families instead of easily pushing them out.
Now, they are pushing for a top-down approach to school funding with support from the federal, state, and local governments.
A bad water main break opened up in a parking lot in Shaler this morning, and a street sweeper got stuck in the hole. Repair crews say the driver noticed a bit of water forming, and before the driver knew it, they were in the middle of it. This is in a lot near Shaler Plaza on Butler Street and Saxonburg Boulevard near Etna. The water flowed out onto Saxonburg before crews were able to turn it off. Businesses are closing up and down one of the busiest roads in the Pittsburgh area.
All these stores closing. I think it's terrible.
The impact is having all over the North Hills.
You'll enjoy the quiet conditions today, but when could you see more wet weather? I have those details coming up in just a few minutes.
And they show up every year, where you'll need to watch out for snow fleas as we head into spring.
McKnight Road in Ross Township is the busiest business district in the North Hills, but you'll notice a lot of empty storefronts. We counted at least a half dozen businesses that have closed since the pandemic began. Commissioners tell Channel 11's Gabriella DeLuca it's not just along that section.
When you drive up and down this long stretch of McKnight Road in Ross Township, the signs are everywhere you look. They say for sale and for lease. And when you drive farther up McKnight Road, it's hard not to notice some of the big box stores like this right here. It used to be Ross. The sign is gone and it's closed for good.
I see so many stores going on. Everything's falling apart, that's all.
Shoppers we talked to were surprised to see empty storefronts along McKnight Road.
I'm shocked, yeah, because I was one of the ones that contributed to the shoppers up here a lot, but I haven't done a lot of shopping, in the last year.
When we drove this stretch, we saw a number of recently closed stores and businesses that have changed locations. Some include the Vitamin Shop, Ross Dress for Less, Carlisle's Bridal, and Steinmart, that is now a COVID testing site. Plus, a number of for sale and lease signs scattering the sides of the road.
I think, yeah, there's some businesses that may certainly in the McKnight Road corridor certainly may have been impacted by COVID-19.
Dan DeMarco, who's the president of the Ross Township Board of Commissioners, told me from 2019 to 2020, they did see a $100,000 drop in business privilege tax and another $250,000 drop in mercantile tax, but income tax was slightly higher.
If there's anything we can do to help with those businesses, then we certainly are willing to do that.
Jim Bolts, who is the president of the Pittsburgh North Regional Chamber, says it's not just a McKnight Road problem. It's an issue all over the North Hills. He blames the pandemic.
It's hard because you have all these built-in costs that are fixed costs that don't vary because you only have 50 people coming in.
But customers have hope that one day business will be back.
It's all tied together. So if we all do the right things, then we can get through this sooner and we won't have more closings, and maybe some of the organizations or the stores that have closed will come back.
Reporting along McKnight Road, Gabriella DeLuca, Channel 11 News.
All right, let's talk a little bit about shopping this afternoon some more. Have you found yourself wanting to go out shopping for some new stuff just because you've been cooped up for so long? The CEO of TJ Maxx predicts that revenge shopping will erupt once most Americans get the COVID vaccine. So the theory is that people will go out and shop a lot and get revenge for not being able to for so long. The National Retail Federation is forecasting sales will hit more than $4 trillion this year, and that would be the largest growth since 2004.
Don't shop angry. The post office in Hempfield Village off Wendell closed for good 10 days ago, and it's causing frustration for the 100 customers who got their mail there. According to our partners at the Trib, there's no home delivery in that community, so now those people are forced to travel 5 miles to Manor to get their mail. Meanwhile, an apology from the head of the Postal Service for months of delays in mail and package delivery. The USPS struggled financially for years due to decline in mail, and staffing troubles and other challenges worsened during the pandemic.
We must acknowledge that during this peak season, we fell far short of meeting our service targets.
Officials say the Postal Service is on track to lose $160 billion over the next 10 years. The Postmaster General pledged additional reforms and cost-cutting measures to better serve Americans.
So this has been a huge story on WPXI.com, really all of our social media pages. Snow fleas, as if we haven't had enough to deal with this winter. Don't worry, snow fleas, they don't bite, they jump, but they don't bite. You might see them, though, out in big groups of melting snow piles. So they're decomposers, they're searching for food. And I want to let you know, there's also the snow scorpion fly. Sometimes it's referred to as a snow flea as well. They've been seen in North Park, in Irwin Run, in Gibsonia, and Beechwood Farms Reserve off of Dorseyville Road. You could see them in Frick or Shenley Park as well because they like places with a lot of moss.
Your severe winter Team 11 forecast.
That's another good reason why you shouldn't eat snow, and no snow for today. We actually see a good bit of sunshine staying dry today, and hey, even tomorrow, really good time to maybe get outside if you want to. Now, we're not as warm as we were yesterday. Sorry, we had some cold air to move in overnight, and it has definitely settled into the area, so we're dry but cooler tomorrow. Warmth and moisture returns for this weekend, so yeah, we're going to be warmer Saturday and Sunday, but that comes with rain chances mostly in the morning hours on Saturday, maybe a few lingering showers during the afternoon. and scattered showers on Sunday. So let's talk about it. We expect some showers to come in really overnight into your Saturday morning, so kind of coming and going, not staying in one spot for too long. Maybe you have an early start on Saturday. If you do, I would check in with the severe weather team Saturday morning as we're tracking these showers as they move in during the newscast. Also check in with our app. We'll continue to time out these showers as they roll through the area. So again, scatter, kind of hit and miss during the afternoon. If you want to get outside, that is a great time. Evening hours look even better as we're looking completely clear. Good to go around 7 o'clock. Maybe you want to grab some dinner, and even late into the nighttime hours looking quiet. Round 2 comes back into the forecast early Sunday morning. Notice the wider coverage here. Also notice the brighter colors that indicate some of the heavier downpours where you see the bright yellow. So around 6 o'clock Sunday, could have a heavy downpour around Pittsburgh, near Washington, Uniontown, south of Greensburg. And that will continue to flow through the area as well. And that will also last mostly during the morning hours, maybe a few more showers during the afternoon. So Saturday afternoon and evening, a really great time to get outside. And again, we are looking warmer. I'm going to talk more about temperatures and the changes we're going to see in the upcoming days coming up in the next half hour of news. And again, I do have some good news, so stick around for that. But right now, temperature wise, upper 30s. 38 Pittsburgh, Butler, 40 in Beaver and in Uniontown. And this afternoon, maybe you want to hit the trails. It's almost springtime. I know you're starting to want to get outside more. Again, today, we're cooler. So as you maybe get that bike ride in later today, grab that jacket. Temperatures will be in the lower 40s. Tonight, back below freezing, 29. So we're not done with the freezing temperatures just yet, but we do have an improvement on the way. Hey, this weekend, back into the 50s, looking good. 54 for Saturday, 53 for Sunday. Another push of colder air for Monday, but at least we're back to quiet conditions, partly cloudy. Monday's high, 43 degrees.
We'll take that. Thanks so much, Jessica. A local town is considering banning people from drinking alcohol in the street, but with businesses already struggling,
I see more harm in shutting it down.
The case against a potential ban on open containers.
Hey, how you doing? I found your wallet at Walmart.
Plus, the kindness of strangers caught on a doorbell camera. People in Zelienople may not be able to walk around much longer with open containers of alcohol. Borough leaders are considering a rule change banning drinking alcohol on any public street, sidewalk, park, recreation area, and parking lot. The only exception would be for events permitted by the police chief. Small business owners say that the change could hurt them.
We were dismayed as our outdoor dining does consist of some public use property, and any ordinance that would impact that public use would definitely put a damper on our ability to offer outdoor dining this summer.
The borough will take public comment into consideration before making a decision next month.
There's another unemployment scam circulating. It's a text message. Scammers are claiming to be from a state workforce agency, and they're sending some links in that text. The PA Department of Labor and Industry says no one will ever contact you and ask for personal information like your social security number or your username or password. I love this story. Okay, so you've seen those videos from home security cameras showing a thief taking a package from a front step. I don't love that part. Here's what I do love. This video this afternoon captures a package being returned.
Hey, how you doing? I found your wallet at Walmart.
Yeah, it was a wallet. You can see that man right on the front porch of the doorbell camera, and he rings the doorbell there in Jacksonville. Nobody answers. The camera starts recording. So he holds it up there. He explains, I found this wallet. I was returning it. No one was home, so he hid it, and he told the homeowner on this recording where exactly to find that wallet. Wow, I just love that. This man never identifies himself in the video, but the homeowner has referred to him as her guardian angel.
I believe in solving problems.
That lawmaker says not legalizing recreational marijuana is a problem. The one thing about him that makes his pitch historic.
A lot of the contact tracers were lucky to have 2 calls per day.
She worked as a contact tracer for 5 months, and now she is telling her story to Target 11. How much of your money, she says, went to a program that she says was mismanaged.
Breaking news, Chopper 11 is live right now over Dravosburg, where a car crashed into a building. And as the chopper here moves to the right, you can see that building there on the left-hand side, and the entire front of the building is gone. We believe that the car may have already been towed away, but you can see the whole front end of the building is gone there. Working to find out if there are any injuries. This is at Richland Avenue and McKeesport Boulevard, and you can see firefighters on scene. They have the roads blocked off there, not allowing any traffic to get through. We do have crews headed there on the ground, and we'll continue to monitor the situation and bring you live updates as we get them.
Health officials say that contact tracing is key to controlling the spread of COVID-19. The state pumped millions of dollars into it. They even hired a private company to oversee it.
And now a former employee is raising serious questions about the $23 million effort. Target 11 investigator Rick Earl joins us with the exclusive report.
She worked as a contact tracer in Pennsylvania for 5 months. She believes she did some good, but she says it was frustrating and unorganized. She agreed to speak out as long as we concealed her identity.
I think it was mismanaged from the get-go.
This woman worked as a contact tracer. She's one of 1,000 people hired by a private staffing company that received a $23 million government contract to hire contact tracers in Pennsylvania. She started in August as a team supervisor. Everyone worked from home, and she says there were issues from the very beginning.
I had people on my team that didn't receive headsets until November, and that's a critical part of contact tracing. You have to have a headset to make that call.
And she says for weeks at a time, many of the contact tracers had little to do.
The program started in August. It really didn't get traction until probably 5 months later. A lot of the contact tracers were lucky to have 2 calls per day. We had teams of over 50 people. The call volume just wasn't there.
What happened? Why was it so slow? Because we had so many cases.
I think there was probably a mismanagement from the get-go.
She claims the entire process was slowed by a lack of case investigators who initiate the cases and then forward them to the contact tracers.
They didn't bring over enough people to do the case side, because that's where it starts. That's where the amount of people should have started on the program.
And she says there were also problems with the computer program. For instance, she says multiple contact tracers could get into one record at the same time.
If multiple people can be in a record, you don't know if someone else is on a phone with this particular contact or not.
That doesn't seem like a very good system.
No, it wasn't efficient at all.
And she says it led to duplication. For instance, she says one contact received calls from 17 different tracers. And she says the program wouldn't let tracers add people in the same household.
So you couldn't add people if you reached out to a contact and they were in a household and with 4 other people, you couldn't add those people to the database because it has to start at the case side. It became a issue where, duplicates were found in the system too.
She and others expressed concerns to management.
Anytime we would go to upper management, whether it be resources, tools, or systems, it was kind of put on the back burner.
We reached out to the state health department and they sent us this 2-page email response acknowledging that the pandemic has stretched the capacity of their department and contractors, but also touting a program they say has resulted in identifying 75% of all contacts. And in October, they installed a new software program to ensure all tracers were able to successfully do their job. The email goes on, quote, throughout the entire COVID-19 response, the contact tracing program has assessed needs to best ensure taxpayer dollars were well spent and staff had a fulfilling workload. A check of workplace surveys online found mixed reviews, including similar complaints. One writing, unorganized, was hired as a contact tracer, and make maybe 1 call a day, systemic issues they don't know how to fix. But others had a much different experience. Quote, I love the job and the company has been very professional. Another adding, I've gained new skill sets to help me move up. I couldn't be more grateful for this company.
I think we did definitely make a difference. I think there's a lot of good people that have worked there. There's a lot of good people that are still there, and they're proud of this mission and supportive of this mission of making a difference. But just the mismanagement at the very beginning, the lack of resources, the lack of upper management, and the modge podge of how this was put together has just been disappointing.
In an effort to extend the program, the state in December cut back work hours for some contact tracers, and they say they continue to adjust workloads based on program needs. Rick Earl, Channel 11 News.
As communities race to get everyone vaccinated, some feel they are being left behind. Westmoreland County is one of those places. It is the 11th biggest county in the state, but last in the number of vaccines received compared to counties with similar populations. And out of the state's 67 counties, Westmoreland is 57th when it comes to doses.
The biggest thing we can do right now is get more vaccine into Westmoreland County for the people that want it and need it.
Commissioner sent a letter to the state yesterday, and we'll let you know if and when they hear back.
He said, if I'm going to die from this, I'm going to die at home. And that was really hard.
So it was definitely a race against time for that determined daughter fighting to get a life-saving COVID treatment for her parents. This is a story that any daughter or son who has had a sick parent certainly can relate to, wanting desperately to help your parents. Lisa Sayard was 500 miles away in Knoxville, Tennessee with her mom and her stepdad here in Pittsburgh, and they were suffering from COVID and going downhill. And then she discovered a new promising treatment at UPMC, but the infusion has to be administered at a clinic within 10 days of symptoms, and her parents' doctor refused to give the okay.
Do you think I'm going to risk my medical license because somebody's daughter calls me and tells me to?
So tonight at 6, Channel 11's Angie Moreski will bring us the story of the frustrating battle and show us what happened. So make sure you tune in at 6:15 today. It was a team effort to feed Pittsburghers. Yesterday, 412 Food Rescue and Cisco Pittsburgh teamed up to give out food. They did it at Presentation of Christ Greek Orthodox Church in East Pittsburgh.
Every single one of them, you walk out realizing that your life is fuller than it was going in. So it's pretty amazing.
They focused on hospitality workers, but they didn't turn anyone away.
Penn State is getting another $85 million in COVID relief money. That's on top of the $55 million the school got in the spring. The university says about $28 million will go to students in the form of financial aid grants. School officials say their budget has taken a $400 million hit because of the pandemic. Point Park University is feeling the pain of the pandemic. The school says it won't be renewing the contracts for 17 faculty members after this semester. They are members of a non-tenured union there. Meanwhile, Butler County Community College is reaching out to high school students. They'll have the opportunity to earn free college credits in the Early College Pathway Pilot Program. Students can take a 3-credit college writing course that will transfer over. Well, after a brief touch of spring, it is back to February weather again. Here's meteorologist Jessica Faith.
Yeah, so we've been in the 30s much of the day this afternoon, getting into the lower 40s, still keeping a good dose of sunshine today. Now, if you're looking for the warmer temperatures, we'll find them this weekend along with a little bit of rain. You'll still be able to get outside some of the weekend and enjoy the quiet and warmer conditions. Saturday looking like the best day. And coming up in about 15 minutes, I'm going to dive deeper into temperatures and let you know how cold it's going to feel with the wind chill today and when we could see those warmer temperatures and just how warm it's going to get.
You know, that's kind of the elephant in the room, if you will. No pun intended.
The elephant that lawmaker is talking about is himself. State Senator Dan Laughlin is the first Republican to back legal recreational marijuana use in Pennsylvania. That means that the effort now has bipartisan support. Senator Laughlin is co-sponsoring a bill to legalize it recreationally. He thinks this is the next logical step, but is aware that some may think this is unusual coming from a conservative.
I have broad shoulders. I'm not afraid to run a bill that might not fit our party stereotype.
Senator Laughlin said that the black market is running the cannabis industry, and it's a problem that legalization can solve.
He dropped out of college because he couldn't afford it. How he was able to donate $20 million to his alma mater.
A man found beaten up and tied up. He says he was kidnapped, while police say he made the story up.
A mother and daughter found themselves in a position to change a life, and now they're sharing their story. Tanika Pinnix and Layla Gooden were on the Homestead Grays Bridge in the morning of January 28th. They noticed a woman in distress with one leg over the railing. They pulled over and talked to her and let her know they cared and got her to safety.
I just said what the first things that I felt and that came to mind, and I knew she needed to hear I love you.
It opened my eyes that my problems aren't as big as other people's.
Earlier this week, City Council honored the mother and daughter for their kindness and their empathy.
A 19-year-old was so desperate to get out of work, police say that he faked his own kidnapping. Police found him roughed up and helpless. He told police in Arizona that he was hit in the head and he was stuffed in his car in front of his house. But then when officers looked at his home surveillance video, they say they didn't see anything suspicious.
Coolidge Police Department detectives brought him in on the 17th of February, and we questioned him. After we showed him all the information, he admitted that he fabricated the story because he didn't want to go to work.
He has since been fired from his job and has pleaded guilty to reporting false information.
And we're cooler today after getting a taste of spring yesterday, but I have information about some better days on the way. I'm talking about warmer temperatures. That information will be coming up next.
We told you when Pitt researchers developed a marijuana breathalyzer, how they're using that same technology to create a COVID test that can give results in just 5 minutes. A Pitt researcher who developed a marijuana breathalyzer just created a new type of COVID test. And Channel 11's Joe Arena found out how a microchip that fits on a penny could tell you if you have COVID in just 5 minutes.
The few minutes of time it takes to make our morning coffee could be the same amount of time it takes to learn whether you have COVID or not. And the research on this rapid testing is being done right here in Pittsburgh. Look closely at this penny. Now, focus just to the right of Honest Abe. What you're looking at is a tiny chip and the most important part of what could be a device that can detect COVID in 5 minutes. A team of UPMC and Pitt researchers led by Dr. Alexander Starr are working on this project that's in its early stages. Also involved is Assistant Professor of Pathology, Dr. Sarah Wheeler. And Wheeler says so far their clinical sample test results are very promising, but there is another hurdle.
For any diagnostic to come to market, you have to do full-scale clinical trials. So we've done preliminary trials, but we need to expand those trials in patients.
Here's how the device would work. This tiny sensor chip has several highly sensitive fibers with SARS-CoV-2 antibodies stitched into them. Someone taking the test would perform a nasal swab, then apply what's on the swab to the tiny chip. And in less than 5 minutes, the virus, if it's there, will interact with the antibodies and give a positive result. And besides speed and accuracy, there's another game changer.
It's truly portable, right? So we can envision handheld electronic unit that somebody then can use at home.
Making it much easier and safer to self-isolate after finding out if you've tested positive. So still a long way to go to market, but right now it looks promising. In Pittsburgh, Joe Arena, Channel 11 News.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
So we have the sunshine today, a lot like yesterday. One thing that we don't have like yesterday, the nice warmer temperatures. It is cool today, but still holding on to dry conditions. So maybe you're like me and your car is very dirty from all of the snow we've been getting the past few weeks, and you finally want to wash your car. Today is a pretty good day to do so. Even tomorrow, looking pretty good. High pressure builds back in, so that means sunshine once again as we wrap up the work week. Either today and tomorrow, you're good to go. I would do it before this weekend. Saturday, we're seeing showers mainly during the morning hours, but still maybe a rogue shower during the afternoon. The evening hours look much better, but by the evening hours, you may not want to wash your car. Sunday, we bring back scattered showers into the forecast, so I would probably do it whenever you have a break. Here's a look outside right now. Maybe you're about to take your lunch break. Someone on my Facebook page mentioned that this is nice, taking a walk during your lunch break weather. I would agree. We have the sunshine coming in, a few clouds in the mix. 38, so it is cool outside. Maybe while you're walking, you may want to grab that thicker jacket or coat with you. Maybe even your sunglasses, because again, we do have those sun rays coming on. You can even see they're coming onto the buildings. Wind coming in from the west, northwest at about 8 miles per hour. So we do have a bit of a wind that's going to make it feel a little bit cooler. Even as we go into the afternoon, making it feel like we're in the low to mid 30s. And then as soon as sun sets, we're feeling much colder with that wind, and even the cooler temperatures feeling like we're in the 20s. So if you're out later this evening or tonight, know that it's going to feel very cold, especially when you factor in the wind. Now, I told you earlier that warmer temperatures are on the way, so kind of doing this little roller coaster as we go throughout the rest of this work week into the weekend. We're in the lower 40s today. Mid-40s for tomorrow. We have warmer air and moisture to push back in from the south Saturday and Sunday. So overall looking pretty good when it's not raining this weekend. I would go ahead and head outside when you can. One great way to track it is to tune in for the newscast this weekend and have our weather app handy so you can track the showers in your neighborhood on our interactive radar. I do want to give you a heads up into days ahead. So this is 8 to 14 day outlook. This is from March 4th through the 10th, and it shows that we're about 40% above average going into the first few days of March. So that's just a good sign for you there, just to show you that warmer temperatures are on the way as we approach the first day of spring. Here's your 5-day forecast. I did tell you that we do have that warm up this weekend, but we have another push of colder air. Monday, temperatures drop into the 40s with partly cloudy skies.
Mandy Moore announced a new role in a new project called This Is Gus. Yeah, you guessed it. There he is, her new little baby named Gus. The This Is Us actress shared the exciting news on her Instagram yesterday that she became a mom. That is a huge new role. And her son, August, is here. She said actually came right on her due date. Congratulations to Mandy Moore and her musician husband, Taylor Goldsmith. This is their first child. All right, here's now local steals and deals. Lisa Robertson.
I have
interestingly enough, one of my new favorite things. This is Calming Heat by Sharper Image, and it does so much more than a regular heating pad. And at first I thought, yeah. And then I tried it and I went, oh, yeah. So here's the deal. Number one, it's a heating pad, right? If you have aches and pains, you overdid it, your back, your shoulders, your knees, right? There's nothing better than a heating pad, but most heating pads just kind of sit there. This one drapes over and it has weight. It's filled with these weighted clay beads, so the heat really absorbs and you feel the heat so much more. It makes such a difference. And I love that. But it also has, wait for it, because here's the cool part, massage. Now I have 3 different settings for heat, 3 different settings for massage, and by the way, automatic timer turnoffs for the massage and the heat, so you're good with safety. Because of the fact that it's a great size, when you put it over your shoulder, it covers a lot of your shoulder. If you put it on your back, it covers a lot of your back. When I put it on my lap, down my legs when I'm watching TV, it covers a lot of space. So this is one of those things that can just be calming and soothing at the end of a long day, or just because it's that Zen moment when it's cold outside and you're toasty, warm, and massaged inside. It's Calming Heat by Sharper Image. I love the concept. And by the way, 20% off on localsteels.com.
Another sign warmer weather is on the way. A pop-up miniature golf course is coming to Oakland. The Pittsburgh Innovation District sent us these pictures. The course will be installed along a part of Oakland Avenue that's currently closed to traffic. It will be free and open to anyone and starts in a few weeks. Levin Furniture is open once again after nearly going out of business twice. 2 of the stores that Robert Levin bought back at the Point in North Fayette and McMurray opened their showrooms yesterday. Levin had a ribbon cutting ceremony to celebrate rehiring their employees. More Levin stores will reopen in the coming months.
A man who dropped out of college for financial reasons has given the school its largest ever private donation from an alumnus. Calvin Tyler had to leave Morgan State University after 2 years because he couldn't afford it. Tyler then became a UPS driver in Baltimore. He worked his way up the corporate ladder and retired in 1998, joining the company's board of directors. Now, almost 40 years after dropping out, Tyler and his wife were able to donate $20 million to the university. Isn't that great?
That is amazing. That's going to do it for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5.
Have a great afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow.
This is Take 5, highlighting Western Pennsylvania's most innovative and successful businesses.
Hello and welcome to Take 5. I'm Heather Habira. Joining me today to talk about children's wellness from United Healthcare is Chief Medical Officer Dr. Arathusa Kirk. Dr. Kirk, why is children's wellness an important issue to discuss with new parents and guardians?
Well, thank you, Heather. This is such an important issue. And at United Healthcare, our mission is to help people live healthier lives. And during this time, we're here to amplify the message of the American Academy of Pediatrics and the American College of Family